Welcome everyone to the Wake Up Call channel. This is a video you have to see because, of course, this is not a coincidence. What we're seeing from the siblings of some of these celebrities like Ben Affleck and how these children are actually raised by these communist parents. And of course, they push this onto their children in hopes that their children will become the influencers of the future. And what we see from Ben Affleck's daughter and the behavior of these celebrities' children is just absolutely telling of the mind control that their parents put them through, because these children are born into covens. Their parents, like Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner, Hollywood celebrities, they all raise their children the same way. They're raised through trauma-based mind control. And then you see what they become as they become adults, right? We see it with Will Smith's children. We see it with many of these celebrities who conveniently have children who identify as the opposite gender. So let's start with this story before I play for you Ben Affleck's daughter going in front of people at a local council meeting demanding that mask mandates return. Let's just look at the obvious when it comes to these celebrities and, of course, their children. Ben Affleck, like all of the celebrities out there that we see him posing, holding a hand over his eye. We see him holding up a 666 sign over his eye. And of course, these people are only famous because these people are members of secret societies, most of them related to one another. And of course, that's why you see them all have the same political ideologies. They don't want people out there to be too suspicious as to why every single mainstream celebrity is a Democrat. So they give you a few like Dean Cain and Dennis Quaid, a few B-level celebrities to make it so it doesn't look too obvious, but it still should look very obvious that all of them have the same political ideologies. They're all communists. All of their children end up being what? Trans. All of their parents could be seen doing what? Holding up symbols over their eyes like Ben Affleck right here. Now, another symbol we've seen with Ben Affleck is the hidden hand, where Ben Affleck puts his hand inside of his coat. This is the hidden hand. This is showing you that Ben Affleck is, in fact, a master of the second veil. So we see him doing symbolism like this all the time. And of course, just being famous should be enough for people to realize this. Again, Ben Affleck's brother, known as Casey Affleck, we see him doing the same exact symbols, right? Here he is putting a hand up over his eye, right? Here he is doing the 666 just like his brother with his hand up over his eye. It's because they're all members of the same secret societies. They give you a fake backdrop as to how they became famous. We're supposed to believe that he wrote this movie and then Hollywood bought it from him. He was just like me and you, as if we could all write a Hollywood script and then submit it to Hollywood. And if it's really good, they'll give you an opportunity to become famous and they'll buy the script off of you like Ben Affleck did. It's all make-believe. It's all make-believe. A lot of people out there have a lot of great ideas, and I know a lot of people out there don't want to believe that the system is made that way, but it is. People like this notion of you could make it in America. You could make it in Hollywood. All you need is talent. And it's not true. These people are nothing more than social engineers. They are here to influence your behavior. And of course, Ben Affleck with Jennifer Garner had 2 children. Now, right now, Ben Affleck is with J-Lo. So that should be enough to tell you that Ben Affleck is one of them. If the signs and symbols weren't enough where you see him revealing himself, well, Ben Affleck, I guess the thing he has in common with J-Lo is the fact that she also loves to hold things up over her eye, right? J-Lo always doing the all-seeing eye symbolism, but that's a coincidence too, right? And you know what else is a coincidence? Again, like I mentioned earlier, that Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner, their child just came out as trans. Congratulations to the children, of course, of Ben and Jennifer, who, of course, we should all be calling DIFUS or some type of service to have the child removed from the home. Of course, we know that'll never happen with any celebrity, but we see the abuse that's done to their children based on how their children act, behave, and what they come out as, right? So Ben Affleck's son has transitioned into, our daughter has transitioned into a boy, and then the other daughter, which I'm about to cover for you, has come out and demanded a return of mask mandates. Isn't that interesting how all these notions, how nobody makes individual decisions anymore? This is communism, right? How the celebrities' children, they're all for trans, they're all for mask mandates, they're all for the fake science. These are all things that we're supposed to believe are naturally occurring, right? Listen to Ben Affleck's unhinged daughter speak in front of a board meeting at local council and ask for mandates to return.
Hi, Violet Affleck, Los Angeles resident, first-time voter, I'm 18. I contracted a post-viral condition in 2019. I'm okay now, but I saw firsthand that medicine does not always have answers to the consequences of even minor viruses. The COVID-19 pandemic has thrown that into sharper relief. 1 in 10 infections leads to long COVID, which is a devastating neurological cardiovascular illness that can take away people's ability to work, move, see, and even think, stands to exacerbate our homelessness crisis, as well as the suffering of many people in our city. It hits communities of color, disabled people, elderly people, trans people, women, and anyone in a public-facing essential job the hardest. To confront the long COVID crisis, I demand mask availability, air filtration, and far UVC light in government facilities, including jails and detention centers, and mask mandates in county medical facilities. We must expand the availability of high-quality free tests and treatment, and most importantly, the county must oppose mask bans for any reason. They do not keep us safer. They make vulnerable members of our community less safe and make everyone less able to participate in Los Angeles together.
So again, this should show you that it's manufactured behavior, right? And they know that the majority of zombies out there, and again, this is biblical. When the Bible talks about false idols, everybody out there wants to believe like they don't worship false idols. They think it has like that, you know, they're going to be sitting in their home with a statue of Ben Affleck, bowing down and crying in front of the statue to be worshiping a false idol. These people are false idols, and the majority of people's behavior is influenced by them. And then when you point it out to them, what do? They go, oh, I'm not influenced by Ben Affleck. Oh, I'm not influenced by J-Lo, right? Oh, no, you're only dressing the same way that these people who you have posters of them on your wall are dressing. You're only talking the same way that they're talking. You ever notice how language has evolved and we have people speaking all these different words now than they did 10 years ago? And, you know, they call you a boomer if you don't know the new lingo, right? That's happened generation after generation after generation through social engineering. They normalize new terms, new words, right? Like what do people say now? Just look up new slang. E-boy, e-girl, huh? Dank, right? Ghosting, salty. These are just terms I'm Googling to find out what people are. These are all terms. And who normalizes this stuff? They do. They normalize new lingo and stuff like that through social engineering. People just, they're built up so much in their minds that they're making independent choices. That's done by design, right? They want you to think that your vote counts, that you're making the decision, that you're doing this, you're doing that. And people just can't get past that. So they, in a sense, are so egotistical or narcissistic. They don't want to believe that their decisions are influenced by celebrity. So then when you point out that they're worshiping false idols, they just automatically dismiss it and say no. But in fact, most of these norms are based off of fear, right? We know that they normalize this stuff like mask mandates through fear, but they also have normalized it through celebrities, right? Empowering people, telling people it's the nice thing to do, it's a kind thing to do. And even if these people realize what's actually going on, they refuse to believe it. It's almost like they are attached to these things like the mask mandates because of the political ideologies that are attached to it, because we know we can identify the people wearing the mask based on how they vote. And that's not how this system is supposed to be. Okay, you're not supposed to see somebody with a mask and say, well, we know how they're voting, right? But we can. We're not supposed to see somebody who has, you know, short blue hair who's a girl and then know how they vote. But they're manufacturing humans and nobody seems to get it. So Ben Affleck and Jennifer Garner's daughter, Violet, as you heard, gave an impassioned speech demanding that mandates return in Los Angeles County. The 18-year-old who says she contracted a post-viral condition in 2019 asked the LA County Board of Supervisors to confront the crisis by increasing safety measures in hospitals, jails, and detention centers, right? And this is what the celebrity parents do. They push this onto their kids. This is abusive behavior. They push this stuff, and then their kids go out, and then they act this stuff out. And then other people hear, oh, Ben Affleck's kids, this is great. She's an activist, a young activist, and they're all completely brain dead. So Violet, the oldest daughter of Ben and Jennifer, announced their separation after 10 years of marriage in 2015, is often seen photographed wearing a mask, though her parents have never addressed why. Speaking to the LA County Board of Supervisors at the open meeting, Violet told the governing body that you must expand the availability of high-quality free tests and treatment, and most importantly, the county must oppose mask bans for any reasons they do not keep us safer. So having mask bans, which of course we know does not exist in California. There's no such thing as mask bans really anywhere where they're banning you from wearing it, okay? And at the same time, even people like me who are anti all this stuff would never call for a ban on it. If people want to, you know, wear one and then risk their own health by not breathing well enough, well, that's up to them, right? So we still believe in freedom around here, at least I do. So although masks are not banned, and of course, it's another good way to identify the brain dead, right? We could see the people who are brain dead because they're showing us it. You have one on your face. It's the same as having the word sucker tattooed on your forehead or wearing a shirt that says I'm brain dead. So go ahead, feel free, right? So Violet continued, it stands to exasperate our homelessness crisis as well as the suffering of many people in our city. It hits communities of color, disabled people, elderly people, trans people, women and anyone in a public-facing essential job the hardest. Again, these are all brainwashed talking points that this is a representation of what Hollywood, what the government is formulating 18 to 15-year-olds to be in today's world. To walk, to talk, and to act just like Violet Affleck. And it's all done by design. It's called manufacturing behavior. Nobody looks at this stuff. They laugh at it, right? The alt-right media sees this, and then they laugh. And they go, can you believe this? Ben Affleck, oh, the woke. They don't talk about how they manufacture behavior. They don't talk about how the brain works. They don't talk about how all of these people have been placed in this position, same with the alt-right media, to control and manipulate your behavior, how you act, how you think. Instead of people uniting together, breaking free from this mental bondage they have them under, and saying, you know what? There's a bunch of psychopaths in charge. They're in charge of the media, shut it off. They're in charge of politics, throw them out. And the people could take back their lives, but they're not. They're putting all of their emotions into the baskets of the left and the right, which is what they want by design, which is why, again, they emphasize and enforce the left-right paradigm, right? So all the conservative media is making fun of this. They're not talking about Ben Affleck being in a secret society, showing you the signs and symbols of Ben Affleck, showing you he's in the same secret society as all these celebrities. And that's what the big thing is. It's not Democrat, Republican. It's Freemason, secret societies, Luciferian worship that they all practice, right? They wear their little red ribbons on their wrists. We can all identify them. They don't expose that because they don't want you to realize there's a big conspiracy against you, against us. They want you to think it has to do with Republican and Democrat. And it doesn't. That's part of the same exact snake. It's the same head, or same body, different head, as they say. But to me, it's the same head. Everybody should be able to see it's the same exact thing presented on both sides. So Ben Affleck, are you surprised that Ben Affleck's daughter is just so prominently speaking for mass at the same time Ben Affleck's other child has transitioned into another gender? Same with Pink's child, same with Will Smith, all of them, right? And they also make it seem bigger than it is. Don't forget that. They want you to think that every other house in your, or every other neighbor you have in your apartment building identifies as a different gender. They're trying to normalize this stuff through the influence that they have. And they're trying to silence anybody who exposes them for who they truly are and who they truly worship. Affleck showing you the hidden hand shows you he is a member of Freemasonry and secret societies. That's all one needs to know of why his children are being raised the way they are. And all the children should be rescued from the parents of members of secret societies because they're the ones who really abuse their children. I thank you for being here. Hope you're all doing well. God bless you and your families as always.